In evolutionary psychology and behavioral ecology, human mating strategies are a set of behaviors used by individuals to select, attract, and retain mates. The human mating process encompasses the social and cultural processes whereby one person may meet another to assess suitability, the courtship process, and the process of forming an interpersonal relationship. Commonalities, however, can be found between humans and non-human animals in mating behavior. One such commonality, perhaps, in the common salmon. Salmon swim upstream because they must make the journey for reproductive purposes. Salmon and a number of other fish, including coho and rainbow trout, follow a familiar scent that leads them back to the location of their birth. And us, the Kokanee boys, we started our journey somewhere in Wisconsin with the Great Wisconsin Beer Miller Lite. We're not close to being to returning home at the moment. We find ourselves somewhere north of the border in our long, listless trip for a perfect Glacier Fresh beer. And we're about to currently sample one such beer named after the salmon, which could be in the process of moving upstream towards home just like us. That's right. Today on the show, we try a Canadian beer. The Kokanee Glacier Fresh beer.
Cheers, Joe.
Cheers.
Hell yeah. What an intro.
Really?
Of course. It was fun. It was fun as that came together, and really gets to the deep things we talk about here on the CC podcast, the Cold Cans Boys, modern philosophers, modern geniuses, if I may.
Yeah, you may.
Here waxing
may
poetic on the burden of life, as it were.
And the evolutionary journey, the circle of life, as it were, to return home.
Circle of life. All right.
How's the first sip? Come on, you started it, and I try to go.
But this is a good way to let the listeners know that we got the board back, baby. We got the sound effects ready to go. It's going to be a whole episode full of hacky sound effects. First few sips are good.
Yeah.
I have fond memories of this beer, which I'm sure will come out as we unpeel the onion that is life, and that is this episode of Cold Cans. We'll be back right after this.
Anchor.fm, folks. Let me tell you about a service.
We got to trade up on our ads. We got to start getting paid for this stuff, man.
We are getting paid for the Anchor
in
ads.
Shambles. We need stamps.com. We need
can't get 'em.
BetterHelp.
We can't get stamps.com. We can't get BetterHelp. We can't get Casper Mattress. They don't want us. We're trash.
Ugh.
It's because we're drinking swill like Kokanee. My first sip, pretty good.
Yeah, it's a smooth beer, smooth light beer.
So this is an imported beer. We found this one in Oregon, weirdly enough. I think you're going to typically find it in Canada.
Right. I hadn't seen it before in the Seattle area.
No.
And then when we were on the annual Cold Cans retreat, we found it in an Oregon beer store? Or where were we?
Safeway. We were just in a
Safeway.
grocery
Yeah,
store.
you're right,
We picked
you're
up
right.
the Kokanee. We didn't have
Safeway
any. But
were the safes way.
yeah, you always say that. Where are you going with that?
I think it's
You
fun.
used to say Costco.
Where the costs go to die.
That's
Or where the
cost
costs go down.
Where the costs go down.
It's all a playoff of Petco's famous jingle, Petco, where the pets go.
So Costco.
So
where
I
the
think
costs
it's
go.
funny to just say
Safeway.
whatever the two words are that they've smashed together to make their business name, to
Sure.
just say
It's
Safeway, where the safes way. That one doesn't obviously make any sense.
Sure.
Costco, where the costs go down is fun.
It's another word. I always took it when you used to make this joke, and I never understood it. And we would hear the painful, pale silence after you'd say it. Yeah, we would hear the proverbial crickets. And thanks to the soundboard, we can literally hear them now. We could smack you over the face with it. I always used to take it, you'd say, where the costs go. You're asking a question. Where the costs go?
Right, that's the other option. That's
So you're-
yeah, where'd the costs go, man?
So you're standing in Costco and you're saying, where did the costs go?
Well, first I say, no, I'm not going to put a mask on, ma'am. And then I say, where'd all the costs go?
I have a CO2 reader installed in my bottom lip. Every time I put a mask on. No, we're having fun.
We are having some fun. But yeah, that's the whole the name bit.
That's pretty good.
Feel free to use that out there, folks.
Feel free. We won't prosecute or persecute. We won't do any litigious behavior. I'm a little drunk on this episode, Nick. I got to be forthcoming with you.
Well, we wanted to get a little greased up for this one, get a little lubed up. So we had some pre-gaming to this as we took in a Brewer game.
Yeah, if folks are following us along on Twitter and Instagram, you may have saw a bit we did. That was today. We did a bit about me being out on the patio.
Oh, right,
and you. We were having some fun.
What's the Kathy Bates and
Psycho? Norman Bates?
Oh, yeah. What is her name? I think it's
Kathy Bates, the actress, the water.
Right. What's the
water boy
one with
actress.
her in where she keeps the guy captive? I can't think of his name.
Psycho?
Famous actor. No. He crashes his car or something. She takes him in, straps him to the bed, and then tortures him.
Truly don't know.
Really?
Kathy Bates captive movie.
It's one word.
I'm going to Google it.
Google it, Joe. Joe's on our laptop here today.
Look it up, Joey. Look it up. Look it up, Joey. Look it up. Look it up, Joey. Look it up. All right. Kathy Bates captive. Misery.
Who's the guy? James Caan.
James Caan is the guy who gets captive by Kathy Bates. A lot of fun.
And his son, it's like Sean Connor. We got Douglas here. Any comment? Care to comment? Oh, that was perfect.
That actually is
Thanks,
my
buddy.
dog.
Yeah, Douglas wandered into the room.
He did.
No mask on, mind you. James Caan has a son who was later an actor on the hit show Las Vegas on NBC.
Why is that a pertinent detail to add? James Caan has enough merit on his own.
He does. He's more of a guy, but I want to see who his son was.
No, we don't need to do this. We don't need to do this to the listeners. We do enough to them already. Scott, yeah, that's true.
Isn't that a funny name?
Is he the Hawaii 5-0 guy?
Yeah, he's in Hawaii 5-0.
That's James Caan's son?
Yeah, you bet your bottom dollar.
Wow.
Tighter than a Snickle snack.
In Las Vegas, perhaps in a Scott Caan vehicle show set in Las Vegas, I could bet my bottom dollar.
Hey.
On whether Scott Caan was James Caan's son.
Maybe he wasn't in that show. I'm not seeing it as IMDb.
Come on.
Anyway.
We're going to have to cut all this. The listeners demand a bit of respect now that we've done the logo redesign.
Well, and they don't trust us on movie knowledge and TV knowledge, but they do trust us on math knowledge.
That's true, because as is proved, are we going to tweet this out, Instagram this out?
I put it on Instagram.
You did. Maybe picture.
Scott Caan wasn't in Las Vegas.
So Nick and I, a very long time ago, absolutely obliterated the competition in Manawa and won 3rd and 4th grade math Olympics. My grandmother, if you're listening, thank you, Hilda Glock, for sending a basket of goodies to me recently, and I talked with her on the phone. It was lovely.
What was all in the basket of goodies?
Some stuff she was kind of clearing out around the house. Unfortunately, my grandpa passed away a while back, about a year ago, and just some kind of nice, fond memories of him, and then just other stuff that she wanted to send, and then we had a nice conversation about it. It was lovely, and one such thing was a bunch of newspaper clippings from when I was a child, and one of the newspaper clippings I pull out, there's Nick Patry standing right by me, 3rd and 4th grade, holding a Math Olympics certificate because we obliterated the competition, just destroyed them.
Yes.
Math Olympics would have like arithmetic, you had to know your multiplication tables.
Yeah. Calendar stuff.
Calendar stuff. Yeah. How many days are in June, that kind of thing.
Yeah. Measurements, how many pints are in a cup, that sort of thing.
How many?
2 pints in a cup. 2 pints in a cup, baby. I remember that. 4 quarts in a gallon.
4 quarts in a gallon and 2 pints in a cup. There. You could pour
That's
2
how
pints of beer in one kitchen cup.
The winning question, though, what's 3 times 11?
233.
Joe.
Is that? Do you remember that being a winning question?
No, it was a bid off our 33 stuff.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Rolling Rock.
I told you I'm a little
Go check
drunk.
it out.
There's something There was a tweet recently
Uh-oh.
from Rolling Rock. It was like, roll the rock out or something like that.
Okay.
It sucked. Who's behind these corporate
That's piggybacking on my Petco bit. Rolling Rock, where the rocks roll.
And Nick, folks, he's a professional copywriter. And
I should be being compensated.
Where the rocks roll. Petco, where the pets go. Costco, where'd the cost go?
Yes.
This sucks.
Why? What were you always going to say? I think you said that.
What
I always wanted to say.
What?
You don't remember? Okay, we can move on.
I was always going to say.
You don't remember this.
Let's talk about Kokanee. This beer going down okay as I go midway through. Not getting skunkier.
No, totally. I like this beer. I have good memories of it. I have a buddy who's invited me and other friends up to a cabin in Canada over several years, and that I think is where I first had it. Joey's taking a picture of me, folks. This is a first in Cold Can's history.
Well, I was scolded, dragged through the absolute fucking mud.
You were dragged.
By you. Keep talking about your buddy.
But yeah, he was a big Kokanee guy, and that was what we had. You know, you buy a couple 30 racks of Kokanee or whatever it comes in. I don't really know. And that was where I had it. So drinking beers out on the lake, it's the same memories of other things like Spotted Cow at the Terrace or Miller Lite in a brewer's tailgate, all that sort of stuff. Same memories. Good stuff.
It's intending to produce those memories. It tastes very nondescript.
Yeah.
It tastes exactly like a Bud Light, a Miller Lite.
Does.
Very crushable beer indeed. Yeah, I don't know. It's going down. I think the trouble with this is like each one of those other beers, we can attach a specific memory as you just illustrated or talk about our history with it. With this one, because I'm not Canadian, I really don't have like a fundamental history with Kokanee beer. Had it on a couple ski trips up north into Canada.
Nice.
And that was fun. And you can
Where do you ski when you're in Canada?
Whistler in Vancouver, where the Olympics were in the year 20-something. I don't remember now. Come on. I was playing into it. And we would buy Kokanees as we cross into the Vancouver area, and
Nice.
They're good. We're drinking these out of pint glasses. There's 2 pints in a cup, and we drank these out of 16-ounce glasses. Or sorry, not glasses, but 16-ounce
what's going on
portions.
here?
There's 16 ounces in a pint, 2 pints in
Hey,
a cup.
this is Cold Cans, not glacial glasses, my friend. Come on, can I get a...
Reaching over for that one to give you that. It's a pint-sized glass here, and one of my worries is pint-sized can, Nick.
Are you okay?
I don't know. One of my worries is that we're going to get low and it's going to get real bad at the bottom when
it'll
it's
be
kind of
warm?
warm. Yeah,
Sure.
and I'm worried about that.
I'd never had it out of a pint can before, for what it's worth. I'd always had the 12-ouncers, which were perfect for my needs.
And maybe that's their intent. Maybe we bought the wrong portion.
This was all they had,
Size.
though, there, right? I think
was-
they just had the sixers of pints.
That's true. Maybe there's
Hit me with a
something.
bit.
Maybe they only export, because this says imported Kokanee. So this explicitly has the imported
It does.
word on the can, and I think if you buy them in Canada, they don't say imported Kokanee. And maybe there's like a conspiracy here.
Uh-oh.
Maybe the 16. Should I get into? Should I be like a conspiracy guy
Yeah.
and just get into?
You know how wealthy
trutherism?
Alex Jones is?
I know, but I think it's becoming more mainstream than Alex Jones. I think you can just sell headlines super easy now,
Do you have an
especially with
example
COVID.
like someone you're thinking of?
With COVID, I'm not thinking. Well, I've heard an alarming amount of people, both back at home, people I'm tangentially related to that truly believe COVID isn't real, that kind of thing.
Right.
And it just seems like a quick way to make profit, to just craft a conspiracy that fits the lies to the narrative I want to live. I want to live in the world that feels nice. Why bother learning what actually is happening? Just give me the thing that says, like, the Democrats, it's just the flu, that kind of thing. Maybe we should get into that. Like, turn this podcast into a conspiracy podcast.
We could. I think we're halfway there.
I could come back and I could spin the narrative for all of Cold Cans Nation to talk about how Kokanee is only sold in a 16-ounce. There's two pints in a cup. and you can drink 2 of these Kokanees. That's 1 cup of beer. Am I running for president? Is that I thought that was a thing.
Yeah, that was a thing for a little while. What happened to that, Jesse?
I can't remember it. I think it was pre-COVID time. And now that's like a little Trump. Now I'm spinning some Trump into here. COVID time. Look, we're not going to go back to COVID time. What we're going to talk about is we're not going to talk about anything beyond COVID time.
It's a little bit of Trump, right?
Yeah, it was close. Yeah, the Jesse thing was very good. You jumped right into that.
Thank you.
By the way, I think I do have to correct myself. There's 2 cups in a pint, not 2 pints in a cup.
I said it 150 times thinking that you'd pick up on it this entire time.
I totally messed that up.
2 pints in a cup was fun. We should get some shirts that say 2 pints in a cup.
There's 2 pints in my cup, yeah. What if it's that? It's a huge mug, and then it says, there's 2 pints in my cup. That'd be fun.
The most niche reference of all time.
Yes.
There's literally like 8 people who will understand that reference.
Let's drop $500 on shirts, baby, to make these 8 shirts.
There's 2 pints in my cup.
Oh, boy. You know how many peoples of Cold Cans Nation were shaking their damn heads? SMDH, as I said, there's 2 pints in 1 cup.
I believe it.
They're dragging me. And I can't even be there to defend myself.
I think you should be dragged once in a while. You've gotten a free pass for too long on Cold Cans Podcast, LLC.
I get dragged all the time.
I don't drag you ever. You just drag me through the mud. You spend all your time talking about how I'm inadequate, how my penis is so small.
Oh, boy. Okay. Okay. I hope Hilda's not listening at this point. Though one more listener on that account would be nice.
For that Anchor.fm sponsorship. Anchor.fm. No minimum listenership required.
That's right, baby.
Is anyone out there? I choked on the Kokanee a little bit there. You didn't even...
Kokanee.
What do you think? Oh, we were going to do...
Uh-oh.
There's some fighting going on outside
there
my
might
house. Be. Nick is going to stand up and do some investigative journalism. Nick, can you give us a play-by-play narration as to what's going on out there?
Someone's kicking soccer balls. I think they're going to retrieve it from behind the net. They're very upset. I think they overkicked it, and they were the one yelling. Now they're dribbling the ball back.
Oh, boy. This is the lamest possible explanation.
I know. I wished it was a fight, but it looked like a cell fight, like an internal struggle. This man... has trained all his life, much like a salmon swimming upstream to die where he came from. This man's been training all his life to hit a soccer goal, and he missed it. Oh, he's lined up for another one. There's a man in goal.
Right,
he lined up. Oh, just wide left yet again. And he is screaming. I don't know if they can hear that or not. Now the goalie went to go get it. I don't know.
I live right by a field, folks, in Cold Cans Nation.
That context would help here. I don't know what their agreement is, but now the goalie's going to get the ball despite doing nothing wrong there. So, yeah, it's just some guys
That's bad
hollering.
etiquette. If you toss a ball over somebody's head or something, you go get it.
Agreed.
I mean, for the love of God.
I used to have that with my brother and I would play catch in our backyard. And behind one person, there's our neighbor's yard, which is pretty much just open grass. It's just like leading into the next yard.
Sure.
And then the other way is a field where there's like, they're growing corn or alfalfa or whatever it is each season. Across the road, up a hill, whatever. And there would always be a question of like, okay, who overthrew it or who missed the catch, and then who has to go get it.
Sure.
And oftentimes these debates would end the catch session.
Oh,
so someone would get mad and be like, go get it. No, you threw that too high. No. And then we'd either lose the ball in the field or someone would have to
get over it.
Oh, brother is right.
Yeah.
Oh, brother, where art thou, I would say,
where
as he went inside.
Which you aren't getting the ball on the field.
Thank you. That was hilarious. Thank you.
Come on. Why do I get... See, you're still talking about getting dragged through the mud. You know what was on top of my head? I was going to say, as you explain this story, I was going to say, not you.
Please.
No way you guys got pissy about anything.
No. Perfect little angels.
Of course. Hey, I am going to go run down and grab the... Parable or terrible.
I know. I was going to ask about that.
So we can either cut here.
We could cut.
Or you could try to fill time. I think it'd be fun to fill time.
You think I can't, don't you?
No, I know you could fill time.
Joe.
I'm going to run down.
I see some doubt in your eyes.
I have no doubt. In fact, look, I do have doubt.
Wow.
And I'd like to see you redeem yourself in the face of your friend.
Wow.
And in the face of your father, if he's listening. If he has those earbuds in right now, and
I
he's
don't know
like,
if he listens anymore, because I commented on that thing when we did I think it was the New Opportunity episode in this very room, when we talked about the screenplay that he and his friends wrote.
He didn't
no
know.
follow-up.
I'll tell you this. You don't know why? Because you need to redeem yourself in the face of your father.
Wow.
You are not swimming upstream.
Right,
You're not
that's my
returning home.
stream.
You're still moving away. Maybe this is a pivotal, maybe episode 116 is a pivotal turning point. It's Act 2. It's our lowest moment. It's the middle of COVID.
Wow.
It's the middle of COVID. We're talking about the middle of COVID here, folks. I can't do a Trump.
You're good at doing someone else doing an impersonation of Trump.
That's what I'm trying to do, is someone
yeah.
else doing an impersonation of Trump. I'm only good at other people doing impersonations of other
Which
people.
is fine, yeah.
Anyway, this is Act 2 of our story. We're at the bottom. We're at the point of no return. We need to return home. We need to find our roots. We have a redesign. We've changed. We've enacted change on our own, of our own accord. A grand...
Or was it? Was it all directed from external forces?
No. Well, there's... In Joseph Campbell's hero's journey, in sort of the beginning part of the latter part of the first act, as you transition to Act 2, there's like a wizard or somebody who takes you through the threshold.
Who's our wizard?
At Brooks-Matic, the former commissioner. And he took us through to this point, and now here we are at misery, at our lowest point.
Yes.
And
I'm James Caan,
change.
you're Kathy Bates, baby. Stop torturing me.
And we need to do something. And so in the face of your father, can you fill 45 seconds while I run down and grab the beef sticks, which we're going to do as a parable or terrible.
Wow.
Now I'm going to go do it. And hell, I might tinkle on my little padiddle.
Oh, really?
I
So
gotta
this is a
pee.
true break. This is like...
And again, we can cut.
Seventh inning
If
stretch
you can't
plus
fill these
halftime.
shoes, Mitch will know we cut. Your father will know we cut here. Can you fill the time? Do you need me to leave like a segue, or can you just fill the time?
I think you've done enough here, Joe. Please, leave. No, shut the mic off. Don't bang it against the carpet. Thank you. Thank you. Well, folks, it's just you and me here. What should we talk about? Should we talk about what Joey was leading us down? All the ways in which I've disappointed my father over the 29 years of my life. Is 29 a fake number that I give you to mislead you if you're trying to steal my identity so you won't know my actual birth date? Or have my parents misled me about the actual tenure of my life? Who could say? All we can know is that all of us has a father, some way or another. Now, what does that mean? Now, I don't know where I'm going with this, but my relationship with my father is a special thing. I think some of my fondest memories from childhood were watching... he was my football coach, so we would watch game tape together after each game. And that was fun. I was usually silent during these times, as was he. But I think there was some mutual understanding there about this being precious time and special memories under the guise of, improving in Division 5 football, which is not all that important, but the time spent together is what was really important. And now, as Joey returns to the room, I got to think he didn't padiddle after all, but he's got the parable or terrible. It makes me think special connections are what life's all about. It's not about what you're doing, but about the people you're doing it with.
Oh.
And
That's
in
a
that
nice
way,
sentiment.
I need to find a different podcast to co-host.
Oh, come on. Thought we were going to have a nice moment. No, they're not doing that. Just you have control and the power of the button. I'll show you the power of...
Thanks for coming back, Joe. Douglas is in the room again. I'm going to see if he... care to comment, Douglas? I love that.
It is fun.
Oh, he's doing so well. You're doing a good job, buddy.
You know what I was thinking as I padiddled?
So you did padiddle in that time.
I did.
Good for you.
Squeezed it out.
Did you wash those hands?
No, I don't ever wash my hands.
boy.
Especially not. No, of course I wash my hands.
Good.
I was thinking about how you were going to be up here going off the dome, stream of consciousness.
Sure. What did you think I would talk about?
Oh, I would guess you disparaged me for humorous purposes.
No.
Yes. Is that what happened? Listeners will know.
That's not what happened.
What did you talk about?
Talked about my dad.
Oh, well, that's a much nicer sentiment.
Yeah, I decided to go down the real route, baby.
Wow. I didn't. So when I was, hold on. What substance did you uncover?
You'll have to tune in to Cold Cans
To find out. Weird advert. You know what I thought about?
It's like meta, man. It's like, have you
Brady,
seen
Brody? I haven't
Inception?
seen you in forever.
I don't want to do Brody back. I really don't.
I didn't want to do Jesse earlier, and it came
Jesse's
out.
good though.
So's Brody. He's great.
Well, no, he's a bad person.
Well, sure, but he's a great character.
Sure.
Better than Pollum. Pollum's the worst character. Yeah, no, we don't need to bust him out. You know what I was thinking as I pediddled?
Tell me.
You were going stream of consciousness. You were just letting things go out into the effectively into the void, because there's no Cold Cans listeners. And how stream of consciousness truly is the ethereal pain separating us from not just animals, but thank you, separating us not just from animals, but from machines. And how if our goal is to advance technology at all costs, and we recreate artificial intelligence, which is something we're striving and funneling money into by venture capitalists, we're going to come up with an alternative consciousness to ours and be replaced in the grand spectrum of the universe. This is the singularity, where evolution will just devolve into machines attaining knowledge at all costs, and will be an artifact, a benign tumor on the universe. Those will just be expelled forever.
Not a speed bump, but a pothole on the highway of humanity.
Totally. And what are we if not? If this is inevitable, and I truly think it is.
Do you think it is? Because that's my question. Will we run into limitations there?
Humanity's fatal flaw is assessing importance where there isn't. So both importance in the self and even us importance in the collective, importance in nationality, importance in artificial, not blurry. We try to draw crisp lines where there's actually gray blurriness, and we apply importance to that. Wisconsin is important, and then the United States is important, and I as the individual am important, and all of that's arbitrary. And I think in the grand scheme of things, in the entire multiverse, we're arbitrary, and thus the best way to live is
it's all arbitrary, though.
That's the beauty of it.
Is arbitrary.
Well, but then that's the beauty of it, is just understanding that. And if you can accept the fact that there's no purpose, or that the purpose is something beyond our ambitions and control, you will not buy into conspiracy theories. You'll not buy into a narrative that you want to build for your life. And you'll accept the fact that nature, as we were talking about earlier, as everything, is not out to get you or there to support you, but indifferent. And if it is, then what's important is this bullshit, us reviewing Kokanee fucking beer.
You bet.
And sitting here and talking about your father. That's the most important thing in the world. And so, with all that said, I have a parable and terrible for us.
Yeah, wow. We should. Yeah, are we gonna maybe not be a conspiracy theory podcast, but be a debunking conspiracy theories? But if there aren't conspiracy theories, how do I explain how shitty I am as a person and how bad I feel every day, Joe? How can I explain that when I'm an exceptional being?
Right, and that is the narrative, not that you crafted, but that the universe has crafted for you. We are just appendages into that core burning infrastructure, which is Nicholas Patry, the individual. And I cannot explain it because I am but an appendage, but maybe a butt.
Give me that appendage.
All right, I'm going to give you an appendage. So what we're going to pair here with Kokanee is jalapeno pepper jack pork sticks, ladies and gentlemen. Now, this is from a local farm in the Seattle area called Olson Farms. Now, we have a friend, Ryan Olson. Hi, Ryan, if you're not listening. And we're going to try one of these sticks. These are one of my favorite. They're effectively a beef stick, but they're a pork stick. Okay, I've got it open.
Effectively a beef stick, but a pork stick. Beautiful. And now you got these from your parents, is that right?
I got these from the farmer's market.
Oh, okay. I thought they picked it up.
Madrona Farmer's Market at the Grocery Outlet Bargain Market. The Gross Out.
Grocery Outlet? The Bargain Market?
Did you coin the term gross out? Because that's a funny term.
Someone else sold it to me, but I loved it, so I
Very
ran with
funny.
it. Yeah, it's great.
Yep.
Though demeaning. Maybe it's not so great.
Oh, yeah, I suppose it is. All right, I take it back. I don't want to be insensitive. Honestly. Maybe we'll edit that
Only
out.
to your relatives.
Oh, come on. Maybe we'll edit that out. What do you think?
I mean, beef steak itself is delicious.
It's not a beef
Perfect
stick.
amount of heat. Essentially, beef stick, this pork stick, is delicious. It's really good. The jalapeno aspect, perfect amount of heat. It's not overwhelming, but just cuts through, like, obviously the over fattiness of the stick itself, because these things are very fatty. But the heat is nice because it sort of offsets it in a way. And pairs perfectly with the Douglas.
Douglas.
Douglas is sniffing out this
He's
stick.
certainly interested.
Uh-huh.
I mean, I should have given
it pairs
him a little
perfectly.
nibble. It pairs so well.
Nom, nom, nom.
Yeah, nom. If you're in Seattle, go to the Madrona Farmers Market. Go to the beef stick beef place, effectively a beef place, on the left side of the market, and you'll find this. Very parable. How do you think the Kokanee is going down at the bottom of the can?
I think the last sip I had
Sorry.
was with this pork stick, and it was still very good. I don't mind it at all. I have a very polite gentleman here waiting for me to perhaps drop a bit of my pork stick.
Oh, and Nick is holding the pork stick. I have some good pictures of
Douglas
this.
Douglas is locking eyes with me. He's not looking at the pork stick for what it's worth.
He's the good boy.
He's been a very good gentleman.
He's a very good boy.
He may have earned himself if he was a scrap dog, which I know he's not. He's not
You
allowed.
can feed him a pork stick.
Are you sure?
Yes, I'm sure.
All right.
He deserves it.
Are you sitting like a good boy?
He's laying like a good boy.
He
Give him the
is.
damn pork stick.
Sniff it.
And
You bet. You bet.
sound of Douglas getting the pork stick.
You bet.
That
One
was fun.
chomping down.
Yeah, he's gutting it.
It's a good stick. Thanks for sharing with me, Joe.
Of course, it was a lot of fun, and the Venmo is in the mail because 5 of these were $7.20.
Oh my.
Yeah, actually not too bad, to be honest. You know, you get a Slim Jim at the Arco for $1, for $1.
Oh, really? Yeah, Slim Jims are just... that's not even something I get on a road trip.
An absurd purchase. I like it on a road trip because I feel like that scene in Dumb and Dumber when Jim Carrey comes out and they say, just get the bare necessities. And then they play bare necessities and he's in there and he's got the giant oversized hat and he's got like a big gulp and he's got all this shit in the Slim Jim. And then he walks out and he sees these other guys in the parking lot and they're holding big gulps and they're like intimidating. And he looks at him and he goes, big gulp, huh? All right. What does he say?
He says,
See you
"Well,
later.
see you later."
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fantastic scene.
And I think the story goes that those were extras who were not supposed to have speaking roles.
And he improvised it. Yeah. Just like the Man on the Moon.
And now they had to be listed in the credits.
Yeah.
They were interacted with.
Probably union represented. SAG represented. We should call Alex Gamberg if
Can
we need a
represent my
Hollywood
SAG.
corner. Oh, come on.
Check out the facts at the Hollywood Facts, bro. That
Douglas-
was just on that. I told you about that Comedy Bang Bang I listened
Oh,
to.
they
They
did
did
it?
the Andy Samberg thing, and
That's
Scott
fun.
Aukerman was trying to get Samberg to re-sing the thing,
He wouldn't do it?
but he just like acted like he didn't know it at all.
Oh, wow.
And maybe he didn't. I don't know.
Maybe
I don't know what's in
Andy's
his
been
mind.
through a lot. Palm Springs is a
has.
good movie. Have you
Palm
we,
Springs is very good.
we talked about watching it on Hulu.
I saw it very early on its release.
Oh, brother. I saw it 2 nights ago, and I thought it was very good. I thought it was funny.
It's a fun movie.
I thought it was an excellent twist on the Groundhog's Day premise that people have been doing for a while. What's the Natasha...
Leon?
yeah, what's her show? No,
Oh, I don't know.
The Netflix
Oh,
show,
Leggero?
Russian Doll.
Oh,
Russian
so
Doll.
that is Natasha Leon. Yeah.
Yeah.
I've never actually watched that. So that's a similar
Same premise.
Oh, okay.
Start the day over every day.
Didn't know that.
No, for her, that premise in Russian Doll is that every time you die, you start over
Oh, start over from.
that day in the party. Maybe it is when you go to
Something
sleep.
happened at the party.
You know what? I don't remember. Don't
Okay.
quote me on any of this shit. We'll edit this all together and make it sound good. Douglas, what do you think? All right.
Isn't that fun?
It's quite a bit of fun. How far do you think we are into this show?
We are 35 minutes in,
All right.
approximately.
So you just checked.
I have the count right in front of me.
Let's get to the BA score.
Let's do it. I think I had found doing all my research, pre-show research, I had found a fun review
Do you
to
think?
read on here.
Do you really think that the only thing separating us from other living beings and from machinery is the ethereal subconscious plane? Nick,
Hey,
be honest
maybe,
with me.
Maybe when you
No,
say
I'm not trying to turn it
pain, maybe when you say pain, that's more accurate than anything
No,
else
don't do
you could
this.
possibly say.
No, I want a
bro.
real answer. I don't want to turn into the Joe Rogan show, but what do you think?
What are you saying? You're saying the thing that
I said
separates
it already.
human beings from everything else is consciousness?
Or does nothing separate us? And consciousness gives us the delusion that we have a separation from anything else, material or immaterial.
I guess it's impossible to answer, right? Because our consciousness is telling us
That's
the
why I'm
answer.
asking what you think, not what's scientifically proven to be answered.
I mean, from what I see, I'm looking at this Douglas dog right in front of you. And do you think he has consciousness?
Yes. He
He's
feels
thinking
embarrassment.
deep
He
thoughts.
feels pain. I don't think he thinks deep thoughts, but I think he has memories.
Thinking about the substance of his existence?
It's a much more of a base layer, but I think there's a possibility that that's true. Not that he thinks
Sure.
about the substance. He doesn't do it at as complex and high a level as us. But there's no
and
fundamental
maybe that's
difference.
almost more beautiful, right? Is that it's not at a like self-doubting way. It's a just like
Because who are we to
intake.
doubt? Who are we to believe anything
right.
beyond our base elemental? And if that's true, why won't there be machinery that just emulates that and then replaces us and moves on to the cold, dark universe that
This
exists?
is the Second Amendment, baby.
That's a good point. Read that Beer Advocate score.
Okay, so Beer Advocate. Sort of surprising to me, honestly. This is a 66
Oh,
or
damn.
poor. So it's not awful.
But
which
maybe
I
pour
think,
me
like
another.
Miller Lite is in that range. I mean, I would say pour me another if I'm going to tip my hand on my score here. User Lingenbrow from Oregon, heard of it? Says, short and simple, looks, tastes, smells, and feels right between Miller Lite and Coors Original. The thing is, I kind of like Coors O and see no point in buying this over it. Let's not lie, folks. It looks like an American adjunct lager, so knocking points for that is a joke. Get over yourselves. That was added by me. That's added by me.
Okay.
Aside from the near non-existent flavor and aroma,
What's
the
funny,
biggest
though?
downfall for this beer is the exceptionally dry character that leaves you nearly parched. But maybe that is the intention to demand constant consumption. Cheers.
You're talking about a fucking conspiracy.
I think they're sort of right. It's dry, but I think all of those types of beers are dry like
Right.
that, so it's not unique in that way. But I think comparing it to Miller Lite and Coors is pretty accurate.
Yeah.
Tastes along that same line.
It's so run-of-the-mill. There's so little distinguish it from anything that you just described, Coors O and Miller Lite. That feels strange that they're in the same category, but fine. Do we know the caloric intake of Kokanee, or is that on Beer Advocate, or are we fucked?
I didn't see it, Joe.
All right, well, who cares? It's somewhere in that category. Douglas, what do you think?
Douglas heard the word calories, and then he got up from lying down.
Well, because he needs it because we put him on a diet. I kind of agree with that review. It's so boring. Like, why would you ever do anything?
They did say 2.72 out of 5 for what it's worth.
Okay, and that's almost exactly right. Like, why would you ever go out of your way to get this? Why would you ever get this in lieu of something cheaper, unless you're in Canada?
Right. I think that's important distinction, right?
So in Canada, it's your cheap beer. In which case, here's to you, Canada. COVID is a myth, but beyond that, I don't believe that. I'm kidding. Beyond that, yeah, by all means, you're getting this distributed in your country. I don't think they should be exporting it. I don't think we should be importing it. There's no market here for it whatsoever. But if you're in Canada, I'd recommend it. I mean, it should belong in that category, in that deplorables range, right? Not that we're to the rankings at the moment, but that's what it feels like to me.
I mean, yeah, I think around wherever Miller Lite is on the rankings right now, which I don't know because I'm not on coldcanspodcast.com/rankings, but I think a good friend of mine just might be.
Who would that be?
You, Joe.
Well, maybe a good friend of yours. All right, number 80 in the deplorables is Miller Lite. So that's our comp. So if we're going to do a comp.
And did we re-rank it when we did a new opportunity, or did we leave it?
We did. And then we didn't. Let me Let me figure it out.
Or did we leave it? We've been doing a lot of leaving it.
No, Miller
because-
Lite on July 2nd failed to take advantage of its new opportunity. So we have 2 episodes
Okay,
on
so
Miller
it did
Lite.
stay right where it was.
However, it also got re-ranked in the great re-rank of 2018.
Did it
So
move
Miller
down?
Lite's been moved twice. We don't know. We didn't record that on the website because we didn't think to do it. So you'd have to go back and listen to the Power Hour episode, which actually might be fun to do. I might do that. That could be good. And we're going to do one soon. We're going to be doing another great re-rank
If the commish passes all his
trials.
And tribulations.
At Brooksmatic, your second trial is acknowledging you heard this snippet. And if you get past that, you've entered truly an elite tier, meaning the third person to hear this besides Nick and I. Let's rank this
Let's do it.
putrid piece of shit.
No, it's not bad. I've honestly enjoyed drinking it.
But if subconsciousness or consciousness is not the point in life, if truly there is no point, if chaos reigns, which is okay to believe, we were talking about this earlier. Life doesn't have to be Disney World, doesn't have to be a guided line to a ride, and then you get to the bottom of the ride, and then you go to this magical place, and then all this happens. It's not. Everything can be indifferent, and embracing that might be fun. If all of that is true, then shouldn't every single moment, every single second be its own reward? The fact that we're cognizant of those, the fact that Douglas isn't, I'm looking at him staring at a wall right now, the fact that the computer and the piece of plastic and this medicine ball and this can are all unaware of the nature of the carbon configurations in which they exist, doesn't that mean something for us? Isn't that the most special feeling in the world? I think I want to believe that that's true. I want to believe that searching for the point is a very human nature, feudalistic thing. Don't worry about the point. Don't worry about achievements. Just worry about being present and not hurting other people who are as aware as us. And,
Sure.
float through. Don't worry about swimming upstream to find what you want. Float downstream.
That's right.
Out in the ocean. Wilson.
I'm glad you could get that out, Joey.
Well, I wanted you to give me something. You just gave me sure.
Well, I was looking at you. I was waiting for you to say your piece. Yeah, I think there's 2 ways to go about that, right? Like you can do the whole exploration of like, is it all worth it or not? Or you can just sort of live your life and roll with it. And they both sort of end at the same conclusion, right? Typically.
Right.
That it is just like, go with it.
Yeah, and we need the pioneers. We need the people that are doing the exploration, the first group of people you just mentioned, who are making pushes in knowledge and science, making advancements, no doubt. But we also need like artists. We need people that are just living and contributing to the world in their own way. And like Douglas. I don't know. Maybe everything's okay.
I think we're okay on this point. We should explore it further later. But for now, I think we've.
I don't know if we have.
We've reached the point. We were enjoying this episode. We were in this episode,
and
we
it brought us out
present.
For the very reason I'm describing not to.
Yeah, in some ways.
Shit.
Yeah.
Well, then let's rank Kokanee.
That's okay. We all go through stages where we need to do that, but let's rank this thing, the most important thing in the universe. I got a spot. I have a spot. Now, usually we reveal the tier and then decide whether we 3, 2, 1 it. I'm in. It's got to be deplorables. I'm not even.
I am also in deplorables.
Okay. 3,
2, 1. 77. Okay.
Think on that for a while.
Reading
folks.
88 upward, tip. I will tell you 88 to 77. 88 is Molson Canadian. 87 Jingtao. 86 Schlitz. 85 Budweiser. 84 Miller 64. No longer made, by the way. 83 Michelob Ultra. 82 Henry Weinhard's Private Reserve. 81 Pub Beer. 80 Miller Lite. 79 Chevenover Hefeweizen Grapefruit Beer. And 78 Miller Genuine Draft. 77 Rolling Rock. So I had this at 78, just behind Rolling Rock. You had it at 80. What did you have it at?
It at 88.
Wait, then I didn't have it at
Displacing
78.
Molson Canadian.
I think I had it at like 76. I don't remember what I said.
I don't remember what you said either.
I think it is farther down. I like the idea of displacing Molson Canadian. Wait, are you saying eliminate Molson Canadian and replace it with a different Canadian brew, Kokanee?
Maybe. I've only had Molson Canadian when we drank it on that show.
And we rated it high. And if we were to look back in
it was
Canadian,
it was the second episode.
This was the second
third,
episode, or third episode, you're right. Third episode released April 21st, 2017. Now, this was re-ranked in the Great Re-Rank of 2018, the Power Hour episode. Episode 3, our description was Cold Cans goes to Canada. The boys go bottoms up with a beer that's big north of the border, with a special guest appearance from 2 Canadian correspondents, Braden at AVS 1933 and Nick. Yeah, fuck them.
No, yeah, let's bump it. Let's bump Molson Canadian. Very little website work to do.
Rip and replace. Molson Canadian. You're going to Satan's walk-in cooler in hell. It's a fine beer, but it's just as fine as Kokanee.
Yep.
There's one in replace of the other. This is tomato. Who gives a shit? What do you think?
This was a fun episode, Joey. I think there were ups and downs and bends and flow rates that changed forever, just like the river of life that we're all swimming up. What do you think?
Agreed.